Well, I'm Philip Lyon. I'm from South Arkansas. Graduated from the University of Arkansas in 1967, law school. Practiced law in Little Rock exclusively for about 20 years. In a big firm, left, formed a smaller firm, looking for something to do besides labor litigation. Went to law school with a guy who was a manager. Came up with the idea that being an entertainment lawyer would be fun, and went to Nashville, opened an office in the mid-'80s, and currently with Lyon Phillips, my son Bruce Phillips, and I formed our firm in March this year, and just a general entertainment practice in Nashville.
Now, of course, we've been in Nashville much longer than March of this year. We just named it Lyon and Phillips this year and have our own office. I'm also a graduate of the University of Arkansas and from Little Rock, Arkansas. So, in any event, not much else to say.
I got you.
Been practicing entertainment law.
You guys, over the course of your careers, worked with any clients or done deals with any labels or any things that students may recognize? Anybody?
I don't know, not unless they know who Shania Twain is, or Kenny Rogers, or Bill Gaither, or
these days probably don't.
Carrie Underwood, or anyone like that.
It's hard to know your limits, and whether you're dealing with a family member or a client or whomever, you just have to trust your gut. Don't jump into something, don't jump to conclusions either, but as a lawyer, particularly in this field, you're responsible for the whole of a particular client, particularly representing artists. And if an artist has a serious problem, you're not going to be the only one that notices it. And my experience has been, it's not unusual for the manager or the label to come to you and say, so-and-so has a problem. It may be just being a pure horse's patoot, or it could be a substance abuse problem. And while you're not supposed to take into account your own monetary interest, and if you're human, you can't get beyond that.
With a BlackBerry, I think celebrities are just like regular people. They're different. Some clients are very demanding. Some clients are not very pleasant. Some clients are not very smart. Some clients are gentlemen or very gracious, and some clients are appreciative, and some clients are not. I don't think that celebrities are any different than regular people. I think that we tend to think that they are, but I don't believe that in reality they are. The most difficult time with a lot of them is the time that they go from being an anonymous character walking down Times Square to the time that they become a household name, and that's a difficult thing for any human to deal with, I think.
Right.
My experience is quite often the most demanding clients are wannabes, as opposed to already made it. And I attribute that to the fact that wannabes have a lot of time on their hands, and they can eat up a lot more time than an established client can.
Those often are the clients that don't have two nickels to rub together, and you represent them hoping that both of you will benefit in the long run, and so they can't pay you. So it's easier for them to pick up the phone and call you when they're not paying you than it is for a client who knows that they're going to get a bill at the end of the phone call.
Usually, most established clients respect that you have more clients than just them. And they respect you for your advice and your position. But again, it's like Bruce said, they're individuals. Some you become close to, others you deal with just like when there's a business matter, and it's just like any other business transaction. That ain't the fun part. The fun part is when you feel like they're relying on you for advice and guidance in their career in general, not whether or not to record a particular song, but what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? And that's pretty much the highest compliment a client of any sort can pay a lawyer. Well, the first thing you need to do, if you hear someone has criticized you, is to think about it, because there may be some merit to it. But most clients who will leave me because someone tells them I'm deficient will leave that person pretty soon. It's kind of like water off a duck's back. If someone is saying that I'm this or that, after looking at it and trying to determine if there's merit to it, once I conclude there's not, I figure they're just jealous.
In our business, I think they're certainly safe, especially when you're dealing with the talent and the small businesses that develop the content, because there are an awful lot of independent production companies in our business, and the relationships are what's important. Most of our clients, I don't believe, are under the impression that they need a 500-man law firm to represent their interests in the entertainment industry. They need someone who can make something happen, who knows what they're doing, and who has important relationships of their own. And I think that those it's easier to develop that kind of practice sometimes in a boutique setting than it is in a large firm where you're driven by billable hours or collections or what have you. You need a little bit of independence in order to create relationships and maintain relationships in this business.
I spent my first 20 years, back when I was a real lawyer, representing corporations in environmental matters, labor relations, and employment matters, where I dealt with never in a 500-person firm, in a big firm in Arkansas. And what I missed the most was the personal long-term relationships that I would have with people. And that's what attracted me to the entertainment business. And I think people in this business, as well as generally people, enjoy legal relationships just like they do other relationships when they know with whom they're dealing. And then when they pick up the phone, they know who it is, and they get comfort in knowing that both you and they have a personal relationship, as opposed to you're working with someone who's so far down the totem pole you can't see the top. I don't think I'd do it much differently. In order to be a good lawyer, doesn't matter what you go into, you need to understand how litigation works, because litigation is the ultimate outcome of any transaction. You need to understand how transactions are put together, and you're not going to learn that on your own. They say the practice of law, and in order to need to learn before you can really practice. I think it's important to have a relationship with some mentors and firms that can help you learn, and then you grow. It's just like a bird grows and flies out of the nest. I think that's where the most successful lawyers come from. Wherever you can get a job, you ought to take it and then plan where you're going in the future. My practice was totally different. Bruce started when he was hired. He told him he was going to Nashville. I'm not sure he wanted to go to Nashville. He got there. I'm not sure he was excited about it. But he's been there 13 years and done a darn good job developing and getting 14 years now. Excuse me. This is 2007.
Almost 15. I teach law school. I teach law students, and this question is what my law students want to know, probably more than anything else, is how do I get a job in this business? And the patent answer from just about anyone you talk to is you go somewhere else first and then you segue. I show a videotape to my students that's a panel discussion from about the year 2000 with a number of prominent entertainment attorneys at the time. Most of them still are. Don Biederman was on that panel. Don has since passed away. He was the chief counsel for Warner Chappell at the time. Malcolm Mims was on that panel. Malcolm Mims is a very highly regarded attorney in Nashville. Jay Bowen was on that panel. Jay Bowen is a highly regarded litigator in Nashville. And There were a couple of other guys that were on there. One thing that they all shared in common was that none of them had any desire to be entertainment lawyers when they left law school. None of them were entertainment lawyers when they left law school. Don Biederman was a real estate lawyer, Harvard educated, and all of them sort of segued based upon some event in their career, which is what Philip did. So I think that the answer to that is there are many law students graduating that want to be entertainment lawyers. There are very, very few slots for new lawyers at firms or at corporations that are hiring straight out of law school. So I think that the answer is you start wherever you can, you take a job, you have to pay your loans, and you have to learn your way to the courthouse, and you have to learn how to practice law, and then at some point, usually within a 5-year type of range, then maybe you can start really thinking about Loeb and Loeb or Lyon Phillips or anywhere else that has a need. I'd tell them to learn how to use a dictaphone, learn how to keep their time, learn how to answer the phone and be responsive to their clients, and learn how to draft documents, because that's about what they're going to be doing 99 and 9/10% of the time.
There's a lot of opportunities to do things that ordinary lawyers don't get to do in the entertainment field. But you have to pay a heck of a lot of dues for those few times that you get to enjoy the backstage and opportunities to hang out with folks. If that's what you're in it for, you need to take your law degree and throw it in the river and go into some other field, because you're not going to get it as a lawyer, no matter how successful you are.
You'll also find that lawyers are not always welcome where personal managers are, where agents are, where record label executives are, where A&R people are. Lawyers are sometimes known as the lawyer, and sometimes lawyers are invited with open arms backstage and appreciated, and but lawyers are sort of tend to be viewed as fungible more so than some of the other professionals on the artist team. But it does have its moments. There's no question about it, and those are great moments. Part of what makes this fun.
The bright line rule is, if you're a lawyer, you don't need to be a manager. The practical situation is that if you're a successful entertainment lawyer, you fill the role, a lot of the roles that a manager will. And that's particularly true with younger clients who are coming along in their career, maybe just starting. You do at least what I call pre-management. They don't have a manager, they're relying on you to do that. But if you find yourself getting into being, you're truly the manager, then you need to not only rethink your fee structure, you